Hi, I'm Chef Najai Dickinson from the American Heart Association. Let's get cooking. Cooking Up Confidence, Skills in the Everyday Kitchen Cooking Series. Each session will feature food safety, cooking methods, cooking skills, food storage tips, and of course, nutrition. Today we're going to prepare cauliflower mash with Brussels sprouts and red pepper strips. We're going to steam and show you how to use your knife skills. Before we start cooking, let's go over some important food safety tips. First, we want to talk about washing our hands. You want to make sure your hands are washed. You want to take about 10 to 15 seconds to scrub them, but the whole process will take 20 seconds. You also want to make sure you're using the right cutting board. So you want to have a yellow, or if you're using a white cutting board, make sure that it's clean and sanitized prior to use. And cook your poultry internally to 165. Okay, so before we get started prepping our food, we want to make sure everything is nice and clean. Clean, sanitized, air dry. We want to clean with a nice antibacterial soap, and then we want to come by with a nice sanitizer to make sure everything's nice and sanitized. And then we want to let everything air dry. Making sure you're nice and organized is going to be key. It's going to keep you from cutting yourself. It's going to keep things nice and neat so you know where things are. So when you're starting to cook, you want to definitely have everything in front of you. All right? The first thing we're going to do is learn how to zest a lemon, okay? So we're going to add some zest to this Brussels sprout later because, I don't know, Brussels sprouts don't have a whole lot of flavor. So you want to add some things to it to kind of bring that natural flavor out. So you want to get you a nice lemon. That's already been washed off clean, because you know everybody touches lemons when they go to the grocery store. So what do you see people doing, right? So you want to make sure you go in and get that zest off of there, okay? Now, if you go into the same spot too much, it's going to get bitter, so you want to roll that as you do it. And I love these microplanes or zesters because they'll actually catch the zest for you, okay? So keep that in mind. Okay, I'm gonna leave that in there until I need it so it stays nice and fresh. All right, now I have my Brussels sprouts. So I decided to use frozen Brussels sprouts today because for two reasons. I can take them and I can store them. So you can get them in a bag and you can steam them in this bag if you want to. They have directions on the back. If you want to open this up, you can drop a little bit of oil in there. You can season it right in the bag. Shake it up, and you can pour it right on your plate. So that's one way to do it. Or you can do like what I'm getting ready to do, and I'm going to steam it in the actual pan, okay? So don't feel like you have to go out here and buy fresh produce all the time. If it's available, great. But if it's not available, this is flash frozen, so it's still at the peak freshness, right? Which means it's really good. It has a lot of flavor in it. So we're not going to steam these today, but that's what you would do in the microwave. You would just take them. Of course, you know, the bag wouldn't be open. And you would just pop them in the microwave. Here it says 2 to 4 minutes, and it depends on what type of microwave you have. So don't feel like you have to go and pull your pan out and all that. You can pop it right in the microwave, okay? So this is gonna be a little bit different. I already heated my pan up, so my pan is nice and hot, okay? So I'm gonna get that going. But first, I wanna add my Brussels sprouts. Now, these Brussels sprouts are already frozen, so that means what? There's already water, which is cool because it's gonna cook even faster because that water's in there. All right? So we're not gonna do a whole lot of them, maybe a couple more here, just to get us going. All right, so I'm gonna take these here, I'm gonna drop them right in. What I'm gonna do here, just gonna take them and get them going. I like to do them in a dry pan first because it gets a little bit of browning. You know, that browning is good just for flavor, right? Because we're not going to add any salt. And then right before I do that, I'll add my liquid. Then I'll add my lemon zest right in there. All right? Now I'm a curry lover, so my spice of choice is curry a lot of the times. Add your little curry just for flavor. And guess what? Put the lid on it. That's it. Cut your heat up a little bit more. They'll be done in 2 minutes, okay? While we're waiting for that to get done, we want to go ahead and use our knife skills by just getting some pepper strips, okay? So you definitely want to wash this off. Make sure you don't have any stickers on it. Go ahead and cut these into strips. If you don't like strips, cut them into dice, whatever you like, you know? All right, just take them. And we're going to use that julienne cut that we use. All right, take that julienne cut. Nice and smooth, nice sharp knife. And one more. Okay? And that's what you have. You have some nice strips right there. This is when I'll take them and I'll add them right in there with my Brussels sprouts. Okay? All right. And that's how we'll do that. So that's gonna probably cook about another 2 minutes. Once those are finished, you just wanna take them and poke them a little bit. And once they get nice and soft, that's when we'll take them, we'll let them sit off to the side. If you wanna add some lemon juice to it, you can do that too. That's also an option. But I like to kind of garnish things sometimes when I'm cooking, so garnish is really, really important. So you want to have a nice plate. So you can take those and put those off to the side. All right. And you can take some of your peppers, because you don't want to waste any of this, right? It's all about trying to retain as much as you can. So you can take this, you can pop this out the center, and all that's edible. Now you have something you can use for garnish. Now you don't want to cook those peppers too much. You want to make sure they have some flavor, but you want to make sure they're still kind of crunchy. So that's good enough for me. I'm happy with that. So just enough give. So see how it's giving? Just a little bit. Look at that. That's juicy right there. You don't want to make sure that's nice and cooked through. Okay. I'll take a little bit of this lemon juice. And that's it. So we're gonna take this off to the side. Okay. And I like to garnish with a fresh item. So if I'm gonna cook something like this red pepper here, I also wanna have a garnish that's not cooked. So you can just, experience the vegetable both ways. All right. And there you go. Steamed Brussels sprouts with some red peppers and a little bit of curry. All right, cauliflower. So this is one of those vegetables that don't get a lot of respect, but it's really, really flavorful if you know how to prepare it properly. So making a good mash is what we're gonna make today. We're gonna make a really good curry mash with this. And I'm gonna show you how to steam it and how to mash it. So the first thing I gotta do is show you how to break it down. Now, I'm gonna take these stems, get all this right here. You take this big stem out right here. Core, get the core of it out. All right, put this off to the side. Okay, now what I like to do is just go in and pop that out. It'll come right out just like that. Okay, once you get that out, you're gonna use some places to mess around to kind of cut these up a little bit, as big as you want them to be. Okay, that's what we're gonna work with today, about that size. Okay, and they'll just come off right out of there. And if you go around the stem, you have a bunch of small florets that come out. Now you could also purchase this frozen. They have a frozen item too. So you could take this and it's frozen. Only thing different is it'll be a bag. You'll pop it in the microwave, excuse me, and you'll have a good tender product at the end. This doesn't have to be cooked much, right? See, it's still pretty soft already. You can kind of smash it up. So it doesn't need a whole lot of cooking. That's why I love it. So I have some water here that we're gonna steam. We're gonna drop them right in. Okay. Like I said, it won't take long to cook. All right. So make sure it's nice and flavorful I have to add a curry. I like using curry because you can use different flavors of curry. You can have a spicy one, or you can keep it, you know, on the mild side by using the yellow one. Plus it has a bunch of turmeric in it. So that's where you get that beautiful color from, that turmeric. And you know, turmeric is good for inflammation, all type of things. So you can take this, add it to your mash. If you want to add some, you know, you want to add some coconut oil to it, possibly, it'll impart flavor that way. But we want to steam it and keep it nice and healthy by not adding any additional fat. All right, so once we prepared the item, which is going to be our steamed cauliflower that we mashed and add curry to, we want to make sure that you spread it out so it can cool fast. So if you're going to put it in like a sheet pan or a bowl like this, you want to take it and spread it out. All right, so something that's going to give you a lot more surface area. Just remember, when you're storing these, you want to make sure they're in an airtight container. Now, when you're reheating them, you can go ahead and add, you know, a little bit of stock to it or something like that to add some flavor, because you're going to have additional water and some of your flavor is going to be gone when you try to reconstitute that. So it's important to label it. You don't have to go into a long, drawn-out label, just the plain name of it, when it was prepared, and probably when you should discard it. Put those on there and you should be safe. I try to use this often, but you want to have something that you know you can go back and keep it organized. Okay, so our cauliflower mash is almost there. So we're going to take our steam. It's this easy. It's this easy. Take our steam out of our pot, get that excess water, and all you're going to do is just mash. You see that? Look at that. Mash it as much as you want to mash it. Okay. Some people like to use this as a rice substitute, because if you cook this with some herbs and some onions and things like that, it looks like rice. So you can go that route too. All right. I'm gonna add a little curry because you know it's kind of pale looking, so you add a little more color to it, and it makes it just. It makes it taste better because it looks a little more interesting. Okay, so now we have some mash here. We're going to put that right over here on the side, a cauliflower mash. Look at that. Now, you could take that one step further if you really want to blend that in. You can take that and puree it to where it's a mousse looking consistency or a puree type. And you can add, you know, some cheese to it if you want. You know, you can add some different things to it. But we want to keep it nice and simple, so that's all you have to do. Now you have a whole nother item that people would enjoy. So these two dishes right here, these two sides are really, really simple to make, but they have a lot of flavor, a lot of personality. So take the time when you store them. Make sure we try to cool them off. You shouldn't see any steam. If you see any steam, all steam should be dissipated. It should be nice and room temperature by the time you store it. So if you're going to put it in the freezer, make sure it's like that. Then store it in that refrigerator or freezer. All right? Take your time, share it with a family member, enjoy.